Hello, I'm Daryl Olson from the Jackson Kayak Fishing Team, and today, well, we're still sort of in stay at home, but we're probably not. We can get out and do exercise and maybe go do a little fishing here and there, but social distancing is still an issue. But so I'm going to continue with the fly tying stuff, and today we're going to tie up a version of a Mohawk leech. That's all that Mohawk is, this fuzzy stuff here, and it's got a little Marabou tail and some little flash on there, little bead eye, and we're going to go ahead and tie up one of those um, in a size 8 Daihachi 2220 streamer hook, which is a 4XL and 1X strong. And the first thing we'll do is we're going to pinch our barb. We want to give those fish a chance, don't want to hurt them. This is a great fly for primarily for still water, fishing for trout. It'll probably also work on bass or brim or anything else that you might not think that it might eat. So the next thing we'll do is we're going to attach our bead to the hook, but I don't know if you can see this. I'll see if I can get it here. There's a small opening, then on the other side is a big opening, a much bigger. And what we want to do is put the hook through the small opening so that the small opening is against the eye of the hook. You don't need the tweezers, but I'm just using that to hold that there to show you. And then we'll just put that in our vise. And I'm going to tie today is going to be in a wine or maroon color, whatever color you want to call it. So I'm going to use some maroon 8/0 thread in there. So we're going to get that started on the hook. Just the bobbin a little bit on the tension. Snip off that end. And that bead is one of those rainbow head tungsten beads. It's a 3/16. I should have mentioned that, 4mm. Got a bunch of different hues or colors on there, so I don't know. Looks nice to me, I guess. I don't know if the fish even notices it, but it gives a little glimmer or a hot spot type of attractant to the fly, I guess. And we're going to take that right to the barb of the hook. And then we're going to use some blood quill Marabou and wine. And what some people will do is they'll take part of the center of that quill out. We've talked about this before in some of my other fly tying videos, and just remove the center part. So then all we've got is a V, as you might see there, and then on that thing, and then just to make it manageable, or we can use our, I don't do this when you're at the tackle shop and they see you putting these back in right now at this time, because they might not appreciate that, might think you're doing something funny with this time of the year. And then what you want to do is kind of clean up the back a little bit so that it looks, and you just have to rip it apart or rip at it. Don't cut it, never cut it. It'll look too straight. This way it looks a little ragged. And you're going to want that tail to be the length of that shaft on there. So there's the back of the hook. We're about there. Transfer it over to my other hand. And I'm going to try to keep, again, the feather on top of here to secure that tail down. And sometimes some people will tie these without a bead. They'll put a little lead wire to give it some weight. Some might not even do that. Depends on how far down you want to get it. It's why it makes it such a great still water fly. You can use it probably in a river, fishing for trout or whatever, and just doing a dead drift with it. And then I'll bring back about halfway. And then I'm going to use some Grizzly Krystal Flash that's red and black. Kind of go along with the color scheme. And you'll only need a couple strands. And I'm going to divide that in half because I'm going to make another one later. Don't need all of that. And then I'm going to tie the two on this side, on your side, while you're looking at the video. And then on my side. That way it's kind of like imitates, I guess, lateral line of a minnow, or maybe since we're tying a leech, I don't know. And then we're going to trim that so that it's just about equal with the back of our tail. Next we're going to use this uni mohair. It happens to be like a yarn type thing, as you can see. And this is where it's going to get its bugginess from. And if you kind of look, there's probably there is a direction of a sort, so it looks like the fuzziness of this is going back this way for that. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to tie it in so that it's going in that direction, even though there might be going all over. And we'll tie in on the shank, on the top of the shank again. And back to the tail. And then back to the bead. And what we'll do is we're going to kind of pull or palmer these hairs out as we wrap. And we want that rope, this rope part of the Mohawk yarn, we're going to want to make sure that we're next to the previous core to help fill in the body. This wine color, I understand, or this reddish or maroon color is a popular color for people to have in their box, along with black and maybe olive, brown. Now, if you can't find this mohair, it is kind of hard to find, and what you could do is you could create one with a dubbing loop and putting in using dubbing and create the loop and get it kind of hairy. You probably mix some colors, you know, making your own dubbing loop. But since this product is by Uni Thread, I would think that that your local fly shop, if they're not carrying it in there, can order it for you. And then once we get close to the eye, the bead, we'll give it some extra wraps to help lock that bead in place. And then once we get that in there, up locked against that bead so it doesn't slide, kind of pull that hair up a little bit. Two in the back and a couple in the front. And then we can snip off that excess and save for our next fly. Oh, too much pressure, I guess. But that's not a biggie. I do it all the time. Took me forever, but that's what you get. Alright, we just need to put a band-aid around that. And we want to put a little cement on the thread so we don't bother the before we tie it off. This will kind of go in there and lock it down, and then we can do our whip finish. And then we'll take our little brush work out any fibers that were trapped. And then some people will kind of shorten that if the mohair is a little bit too long, to keep it about the tail of the length of the tail. And there you have it. That's your Mohair Leech, tied really simple. Hope you found it interesting, and I hope that eventually get on the water and give this a try. It'll be a good trout fly, like I said, in still waters. You know, it might even catch a bass in your back pond. Who knows? That's all I've got, and hopefully we'll see you on the water soon, and we can all start getting back together and crossing lines. All right, Daryl Olson out from Jackson Kayaks. Thanks for paying attention.